Hello, everybody. This is Tim here again. Here another video. This time we're for a review of Agent Carter. I've been doing a lot of reviews for these Marvel shows lately. Pretty much, I just wanted to catch up on all the Marvel shows that I'd missed and that I hadn't seen until now. I recently just watched Agent Carter. It's only 2 seasons. I gotta say, from 1 to 5 stars, I really enjoyed this show. It's actually one of my favorites out of the Marvel shows that I've watched. I would give it like a 4.5 out of a possible 5. This was a really great show, and I'm actually kind of sad that it just kind of ended on a cliffhanger. Like, this could have went on longer. The writing here was really good. I will say I enjoyed the first season slightly more than season 2, because season 2 gets more into like some sci-fi type elements with like the whole antimatter thing, I believe is what it was, that like gets absorbed into these people's bodies. And there's this blonde chick that's you get to see some about her backstory, how she's kind of like been put down and all that throughout her life, and now she's finally got power, so it goes to her head, and she's basically obsessed with antimatter and wants to like release it on the planet or whatever. She just went crazy. She did become kind of annoying because, because she sees herself as like so powerful and godlike or whatever. Her character did kind of start to get on my nerves a little. And I was glad at the end when she gets like sent to the crazy house after they've like zapped her power away using this machine that they made. And the first season was more about like infiltrating this like evil criminal organization or whatever known as Leviathan, kind of similar to something like Hydra, really, which is in the Marvel films. But kind of similar to that. And they got like this assassin chick that's in there or whatever, who's working for the Russians, and including like this Russian doctor or whatever who can like kind of hypnotize people, and he like hypnotizes like the guy who's like the chief or whatever at the place where Agent Carter works to like put on this device that keeps heating his body up until he basically blows, until it and him blows up, and he like jumps out the window to make sure nobody else gets took out. It is a pretty sad moment and a self-sacrifice type thing. The guy in this show or whatever, the one who's kind of like her love interest, the dude who kind of like walks around with a crutch or whatever, I guess that's the kind of play into like the whole like Steve Rogers thing, who she also was in love with, who he was like this meek dude before he became like Captain America, the big buff dude. So that's one of the reasons he was like so pure-hearted, I suppose, is because he started out as a meek dude. And with this guy and with his him having a limp or whatever, that kind of plays into him. Oh, I'm sorry about that. My dog. Sorry about losing my phone there. My dog wanted to be on camera. But yeah. It kind of reminded me of like the Steve Rogers thing, where he started off meek as well, and how this guy pretty much becomes a hero throughout the show, and he's kind of like looked down on by the other people who are in his organization. The final episode of like season 2 ended with like their partner or whatever, who used to kind of like be a superior to Agent Carter. I guess it was in the first season, because they do play into that thing. Well, it ends with him getting killed at the end of season 2. That cliffhanger did kind of get at me a little bit, because I really wanted to see in season 3 to see that resolved in some way. Maybe it was resolved in some kind of comic or something that they made. Maybe that takes place in the MCU universe. I don't know. And yes, I'm petting on my dog off camera here, trying to keep him docile. But yeah, that was. I wish we could have gotten a season 3. This show deserved it. This was a really great show. And the guy who played Jarvis or whatever in this, who worked with I believe it's like Dominic Cooper, who plays like the young version of Howard Stark, who plays like the human version of Jarvis. James D'Arcy, that's the actor's name. I know him. I've seen him in some stuff. Calm down, boy. He did a really good job as well. All the casting here is really good. And I suppose like the dude in here with the crutch or whatever, the one that becomes like her love interest that she starts making out with or whatever at the end of season 2. They play the will they, won't they thing. I'm sorry about my dog here. He just got a lot of energy. And they pretty much confirmed them being a couple at the end of season 2. I suppose maybe that's like the guy who wound up being her husband in the main timeline, maybe. Where Steve Rogers didn't get unthawed until like modern day. I guess that would make sense. Yeah, but yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the show. I wish it could have went on longer. This deserved a season 3. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.